way it is in this country, it will be very difficult to prove any case against any president who wins election in this country from the look of it. That's what some persons believe, having listened to that judgment.
Yes, from the look of things, I mean, from the kind of judgment we saw tribunal, dispensed lately, it will be difficult, to remove anybody who was declared president by INEC. That is just one of the worst implications of this latest ruling. The tribunal has proven that you cannot remove anybody INEC announces to be the winner of a presidential election, even if that person got to that position through a fraudulent means.
The way it is in this country, it will be very difficult to prove any case against any president who wins election in this country from the look of it. That's what some persons believe, having listened to that judgment. I know the APC, of course, will be happy about this judgment, and they think that this is
we are happy. We worked for victory, and we got the victory, and those who didn't do their homework well expected that recruiting social media mobs to intimidate and overwhelm the court will make the court do the unjustifiable. And if you look at the judgment, every reasonable person, particularly lawyers, know that the court, in writing a judgment, must base its findings on evidence which have been supplied by those who go to court to seek for one judgment or the other. If you refuse to do your work and you expect, for instance, the judgment in several parts of it alluded to the fact that the people who came to appeal refused to bring evidence, substantial evidence, to the court. If you say that you have been shortchanged in an election, it is about figures. The court will expect you to come to court, bring results, physical results, from any of the 133,000 polling units, to say that in polling unit A, this is the result that was given at the time of election. This is what INEC posted for me. And the court will be able to compare. Merely criticizing INEC is like making INEC the whipping boy.
But what do you think about, because before that election, there was a lot of commentary from INEC themselves about BVAS, IREV, how they raised hopes of several persons that, look, you will see the results wherever you are, it will come through. Then came the presidential election, and people thought, we didn't see what you told us.
It is about figures. You are supposed to have your agents in every polling station.
No, I'm talking about the IREV.
The IREV, the court have said that the law on INEC, the law which guides INEC operations, did not make it mandatory for INEC to utilize beavers or IREC or whatever. The law, that's the finding of the court.
Sorry, if I want just...
Mr. Gidado seems to disagree with something.
Yeah, but I just, before I come to you, Mr. Gidado.
Okay.
The court said it's not mandatory for INEC,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But the court also said it is up to INEC, going by the Constitution,
Yes,
to
yes.
decide on how to...
And they decided.
Yes. And INEC over and over, prior to the elections, kept saying the BVAS and the IREV is mandatory. That's part of their guidelines.
Yes, they did say that. For whatever reason, perhaps they discovered that they were not compared.
So is that not moving the goalposts in the middle of the game?
It is not about moving the goal. We are not guided. The court has said that the election is not guided by whatever regulations outside the law.
Okay, let's get to Mr. Gidado. Mr. Gidado, the law says INEC is at liberty to decide how it wants to conduct the election. And how to transmit its result. And INEC came out with a guideline that they're going to use.
Very well.
But the justices have said that, from what the teacher has said, justices have said, it's not mandatory. So some argue that this is like INEC moving the goalpost in the middle of the game.
Very well. Now, I'm happy there's an agreement here that INEC was given the go-ahead to make guidelines based on the Electoral Act, the new Electoral Act. Because the new Electoral Act differs from the old, the 2011, the 2022 Electoral Act now says, INEC under section 47(1), we've given you the leeway to make guidelines on how to conduct the elections. Now, and in doing so, in their section 137(1) of their guidelines, INEC said the following procedures shall be followed as far as these elections are concerned. And the word shall connotes compulsion. In other words, you do it. And you were being guided. INEC wasn't just given an unfettered power. They had to be guided by what the law says. Hence, whatever they were to do has to be in line with what the law says. And they were the ones that came out and said, this is how we're going to conduct it, by the use of beavers. And after the snapping of the Form EC8A, it's going to be transmitted real time. And Nigerians will have the privilege to compare what was snapped. Those that had the opportunity to see the Form EC8A would also view the portal and look at and compare. And if the results tally, if you are told you've lost the election, you have no option but just to accept.
Okay, because journalists in this country spoke several times with officials of INEC on this same BVAS and IREV. They were here, they demonstrated what to expect. In fact, let's just even refresh our memory. I know we heard it time and again where the chairman of INEC was speaking about what to expect to the international community on this. Just have a listen to this.
The second thing we are going to do, and pretty soon, is to conduct mock accreditation exercise nationwide ahead of the election. We won't wait until the main election comes. We'll test the integrity of these machines with real live voters in selected polling units across the country. We did so in Ekitan Osho. It was fantastic. We are going to do so nationwide. And increasingly, our people are becoming even more excited about the deployment of this technology. So we are really happy. And in terms of the numbers of the beavers machines, we always make provision for additional numbers of machines in case of malfunction or glitches. And there is always a backup. We have what we call the RA technical support that will fix the machines in the unlikely event of any glitches. And where it needs to be fixed is fixed, but where it fails to function completely in a polling unit, and from previous experience, there are isolated polling units, the law has a remedy that the commission should immobilize and conduct the election in the affected polling units within 24 hours.
So that's as clear as daylight.
You see, we have said it earlier. There's a law in place. It compares certain things. It does not compel other things. If those who went to court haven't had their results from the 133 polling stations, if they could have come with those results, had copies of the results, to compare what eventually INEC released. If they did that, the fact that because use of INEC or whatever, it is about mode of, transmission of results, not about the quality or standard or status of the result itself.
Doesn't that affect? Doesn't the way you transmit the result affect the mode,
but
the quality of the result?
You have to come and tell the court how it affects it. It's not for the court.
Okay, but clearly, you've seen that and you agree that INEC, yes, they were going to do all of that.
They said they were going to do it. For whatever reason, they didn't do it, but the law does not provide a punishment for not doing what they said they were going to do, insofar as the law did not make it mandatory. What is mandatory is about the physical, writing of the report and collation.
Okay, so
and for anybody, if INEC came out to say that Mr. A won an election based on certain figures,
okay,
anybody to contradict that must bring a different set of results.
So you suggest that you're saying INEC took advantage of when the law says there's no punishment for them not doing what they were supposed to do.
It is up to them to do whatever they can justify within the ambit of the law. And I want to give them the presumption of good faith. They were talking of bleach, they were talking of some other things.
They said
this is about technology.
Prof, yes.
Yes, let me come in here. Elections are not Fendi. Elections are not Gucci. Elections is a very serious business. Now, a situation where you came out and told the whole world and the citizens of the country that this is how the elections are going to be conducted. And you spelled out, you gave all the parameters of how the results will come out. Now, if, for instance, on the election day of the 25th of February, 2023, 3 elections were conducted: House of Reps, Senate, and Presidency. The House of Reps was transmitted successfully. No issues. So if you look around in the entire country, if there are contestations in courts, they are not contesting because they have issues about the way the results were transmitted. The law was followed there, no problems. Senate, ditto. But when it came to the presidency, they now claimed there were glitches. What sort of glitches are you talking about? Is that human error? And that's the question with the PDP and its presidential candidate challenged, because the law says.
Yes, the tribunal judges have proven that the court is not even the last hope for the common man. You can hardly get justice, but thank God for people like Peter Obi who still believes in the justice system. No doubt, even if they fail to give Peter Obi justice, he has ended up exposing the rot in our system. Peter Obi has succeeded in showcasing the rottenness in Nigeria to the entire world. Let the world see us the way we are until we make up our minds to build a new Nigeria, because that is the only thing we need at the moment. The system we have in place cannot rebrand Nigeria. We need a rebranding, and we need a new set of leaders to bring about that rebranding. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.